Good morning, children. Today we will learn the Narayana Live Classes key of class Junior 10th. I repeat once again, Narayana Live Classes key of class Junior 10th dated 23/6/20. 23/6/20. Okay. And what is the topic? The topic is Indian rivers and water resources. Yesterday what we have learned? Yesterday we have learned about the origin of different rivers and the difference between the perennial river and the peninsula rivers. Today we will be learning about the water use of the water in different areas. Actually, you know very well that water is useful for agriculture, for irrigation, for industries, for domestic purposes and etc. and etc. From where do we get this water? We get the water mainly from two important ways. That is, first one is precipitation. What is the first one? Precipitation. Precipitation means what? Rainfall, dew, snow, etc. and etc. That is precipitation. And the second one is what? Underground water. Underground water. See, even in underground also we have the water, no? So the underground water, that is the second one. And the third one is stock of the water. Stock. Already whatever that is existing in an area, that is called as stock of the water. So mainly three sources: precipitation, underground water and stock. These three are the sources of the water. Based upon that, we have to calculate the amount of the water that is available in a area. So the area, whatever the area that is available, that is calculated in the form of the inflow of the water and outflow of the water. Inflow and outflow. Inflow means what? From outside the water is coming, like rainfall or with the help of the rivers, the water will be coming. That is called as inflow. Outflow means what? From our area the water will be going away. That is evapotranspiration. Evapotranspiration. Through evaporation, the water of our area will go away. And transpiration also means when we are exhaling or when the plants release the water vapor through stomata, at that particular time also the water vapor will be released and that will go away. So children, these are the different ways. Based upon these topics and as the number of uses for the water or the population is increasing day by day, there are several water disputes. For example, you know very well that Tungabhadra river. You know very well that Tungabhadra river is one of the very famous river of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, flowing in the regions of the Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. In these regions, see here, that is this particular area, that is on the peninsula area. This Tungabhadra, which rises here in Karnataka, will be joining into river Krishna like this. And when Tungabhadra is the main tributary. So where does it flow? It will be flowing in the from the Karnataka regions and joining into the river Krishna. So these particular Tungabhadra river, share of the water, we have disputes with Karnataka and even Tamil Nadu also. The first question is based upon that. What is the first question? That is where is the upper catchment area of Tungabhadra located? This is the Tungabhadra river. So Tungabhadra river upper catchment area, where it is located? It is located in Karnataka. The first one is answer is Karnataka. It is located in Karnataka. Okay. And the second one also is based upon the identification of the location of the rivers only. That is already we know that Tungabhadra is in Karnataka, and then Mahanadi, where is the origin? The next question is Mahanadi. See here, Mahanadi rises here and it will be flowing to Orissa and joining into the Bay of Bengal. Mahanadi. This particular Mahanadi, where it is flowing in Orissa. But they have given the option, that is Kerala. Kerala is this side, whereas Orissa is this side. So that is the mismatch. What is the mismatch? Mahanadi, Orissa is the mismatch. The second one is Mahanadi and Orissa is the mismatch. That is the second one. And the third one is due to, that means the agricultural practices. Nowadays we are using more and more amount of the green revolution. Due to more water usage, continuously what is happening, underground water is getting deployed. And at the same time, what is happening is the people, their needs and necessities are also increasing. Due to all these reasons, what is happening is, due to all these reasons, the mining activities are increasing. Mining activities, Sandur and Sandur, that is very famous manganese, and Kudremukh, that is very famous iron ore, iron ore mining area. Due to these faulty mining practices, faulty agricultural practices, what is happening? The water resources are getting continuously deployed. They are getting completely polluted. So the third question is that only. That is the faulty practices. That will see here. The Tungabhadra Dam is constructed. Tungabhadra Dam, very big dam is constructed. Now, in this half of the portion is filled with the silt, sand and other things. Hence, what is happening? The capacity of the dam is decreasing. So, the first point is that only. The Tungabhadra Dam has lost its capacity due to siltation, due to the faulty agricultural practices. This is correct. This is correct only. And the second point is that even in that particular area, rampant felling of the trees is there. Rampant felling of the trees and mining was also there. Yes, due to as the removal of the trees are there, the that particular wind it brought all the silt and have deposited into the reservoir. So that is also one of the reasons. Mining, rampant felling, agriculture, all these are the reasons for the loss of the capacity of the river Tungabhadra Dam storage. Then due to that, what is happening, whenever there are more and more rains, this particular tank cannot store that and hence that is overflowing and that is causing the flood. So that is also one of the things. So floods are there, agriculture is there, faulty agriculture practice is there, and at the same time felling of the trees is there, felling is there, and mining is there. Due to all these reasons, what is happening is this particular Tungabhadra Dam has lost its capacity of the storage of the water. All the three are correct, hence the three are correct. Now the next one is, but it did not affect the plants or flora and fauna. That is not correct, because when the flood water is coming, it affects definitely the flora and fauna, but they have given that, but it did not affect the flora and fauna. That is the wrong option. That is the wrong option. It definitely affects the flora and fauna of the area. So what is the false statement? The false statement is the flora and fauna are not affected. That is the false statement in the given question. Okay, that is the third question. Now the next one is, see, surface flows. You know that the water will be flowing in two ways. One is on the surface and another one is the underground water. Underground water. And in these surface also, how they will be flowing in the form of the rivers, in the form of the tanks. Tanks are also the surface water flows. Ponds, lakes, all these are the examples of the surface waters. And at the same time, even they have given the option oceans. Oceans are not the example of the surface waters, because oceans we don't consider that as a fresh water. Oceans are consisting of the what is that water? Salt water. Hence oceans are the wrong one with reference to the surface waters. So tanks, ponds, lakes, rivers, all are correct. All are correct. Okay children, so that means oceans is a mismatch with reference to the surface water flows. And regarding this inflows and outflows only, see, if we calculate the water, that is, you can see that suppose we are living in this village. How we will calculate the water that is available in this particular area? Already the inflows are there coming from outside, and some of the water is going outside. This is outflow. So inflow minus outflow gives us whatever the water that is available in that area. But already in that particular area, some water is available, that is called as the stock of the water. So we have calculate whatever the water available in a village is inflow plus stock. Inflow plus stock. So if we calculate that inflow plus stock only, the amount of the water that is available in the area will be correct. So inflow plus stock, that is the next answer. So how to calculate the amount of the water that is available in a particular area? That is equal to inflow plus stock. Inflow plus stock. This is the important point. That is the fifth one. And the next one is, see here, green revolution. See here, green revolution. You know very well that what is meant by green revolution. Green revolution means to increase the food grain production in a country. So the green revolution, it promoted the underground water levels. Promoted what? Underground water levels. Is it correct? It is not correct. Why? Because simply this green revolution, due to this green revolution, what happened? Due to the green revolution, what happened? Water intense crops are increasing. So they are using more and more water, hence the underground water is getting depleted. But instead of that, they gave the green revolution promoted underground water levels. This is wrong. This is wrong. The green revolution increased water intense crops. So you have to correct the statement. The green revolution increased the water intense crops, and hence what happened? The underground water is getting deployed, or the underground water levels are decreasing. Underground water levels are decreasing. This is the right answer. So you have to correct the statement like this. Green revolution increase of the water intense crops, and underground water levels are decreasing. Underground water levels are decreasing. This is the right answer. Now coming on to the next one, that is, now we are entering into the first 1 mark question. What is meant by water budget? What is meant by budget? The calculation of availability. So how do we calculate this water budget? Inflow, how much of water is available? Inflow minus outflow. The inflow of the water minus outflow of the water, it gives us the amount of the water budget. So water budget is the calculation of the inflow of the water and outflow of the water. Outflow of the water, that is called as a water budget. And the next one is, what is meant by evapotranspiration? What is meant by evapotranspiration? What is meant by evaporation? Evaporation already you know. Evaporation means the water gets changed into the gaseous state from the liquid state. That is due to the heat. That is called as evaporation. Evaporation occurs from the rivers, lakes and oceans. Then what is meant by transpiration? Transpiration means, you know very well that the human beings are the living beings. Human beings are plants, whatever it may be, they will be giving out the water vapor when we are exhaling. See, you keep your hand in front of your nose, you will feel that water vapor. How? Because when we are exhaling, we release some of the water vapor. So this particular process is called as transpiration. That means what? Evaporation and transpiration. Through these two sources, water is released into the atmosphere. These are the outflows. They are the outflows from our bodies, from our plants. The water will evaporate and reach onto the atmosphere. This is called as the transpiration. And evaporation means from the water bodies, the water will evaporate. So not only water bodies, but even from the wet cloths also the water evaporates. These two are the outflows. So evapotranspiration means the release of the water vapor into the atmosphere through two processes. One is evaporation and the other one is the transpiration. This is all about the evapotranspiration. Children, evapotranspiration. And the next one is what are the important inflows of the water? Inflows from where we will get, I told in the beginning only, there are different precipitation forms. What are the different precipitation forms? Rainfall. First one is rainfall. Next one is dew. Next one is fog. Next one is snow. So these are the different precipitation forms. These are the different precipitation forms. So first inflow is this precipitation, first one, plus surface flows. On the surface also, what are the different surface flows? Rivers, tanks, waters, ponds, surface flows. Plus underground water. Plus underground water. These are the different inflows of a particular area. These are the inflows of a particular area. Right, children? So I repeat once again, precipitation in the form of the rainfall, dew, fog, snow, and surface flows and the underground water. All these are the different different inflow sources, Okay, children. Now let us learn about the next one, that is see, we will be, whenever we are done, we will be saying that due to the increase in the industries, more and more water is being used, which is causing the water disputes. Then what is the relationship between water disputes and the industries? See, what is happening is, industries, what do? They will release all the waste into the water bodies. They will release all the waste into the water bodies. So what is happening? The quality of the water is disturbed. The quality of the water is disturbed. First one. And second one is it needs more water for the production of the hydroelectricity also, because industries demand more amount of the electricity, hydroelectricity. And third one is not only that, industries, they need more water for cooling effect, and one more thing is for its own purposes. Like even in industries also, water is essential for cleaning and all the purposes. So for other purposes, like this, more water is needed for the industries. And due to that, what is happening? They consume more water. They will be using more water. When they use more water, what happens when they use more water? What happens? These industries, they don't allow the water for the lower areas. Then automatically lower area people will fight for the water. For example, see here, for example, you can see this example between Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu on the sharing of the river Tungabhadra water only. What is happening is, see here, that is from Karnataka, that Krishna river water, that is from Maharashtra, Krishna originates and then enters into Karnataka, then Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Like this it will be flowing, no? Now what is happening? In Maharashtra, due to industries, they are using more amount of the water. Then they are not releasing the water to Karnataka, they are not releasing water to the Telangana or Andhra Pradesh. Then these states, they are fighting with Maharashtra. In the same manner, Andhra Pradesh is fighting with Telangana. You are not releasing water to us. Telangana is fighting with Karnataka. Karnataka is fighting with Maharashtra. Means what is happening? Due to more industrialization, more population, the water is getting consumed continuously, which is causing a damage to the interest of the lower areas. Hence, they are having the water dispute. So, there is a clear-cut relationship between the industries and this water dispute. So, what are the reasons? First one is water gets polluted due to the industrial effluents. The quality of the water will be affected. The second one is, apart from that, the second one is hydroelectricity is produced. Hydroelectricity. This is also one of the reasons. And third one, what is the third one? The third one is for cooling effect. Cooling effect. And fourth one is other purposes. For all these reasons, the industries are getting the blame for the water disputes. Right, children? Okay, these are the different. This is the relationship between the industries and the water disputes. Now, let us learn about how it is very important to conserve the water. You know very well. So, for motivating the people, we should write some slogans. Write some slogans on the water conservation. Water is life. Water is life. So don't waste it. Don't waste it. Correct? Don't waste the water. Okay. Second one is every drop counts. Every drop. See children, if you see Rajasthan, the people are carrying so many vessels of water for several hundred kilometers. You are fortunate. So don't waste the water. Every drop of the water counts. Save them. And third one, see, very simple. Save water, save air. If you save water, we will be happy because we will be having the plants and we will be happy. So, save water, save air. Okay, children? That's all for today. Tomorrow we will meet with one more assignment. Until then, children, good evening. Thank you.